What if there was an easy way to play over the blues chord changes on guitar? There is, and I will teach it to you in this video. Coming right up. I think all of us have felt not very creative when we're soloing over the blues. Today I want to teach you a phrase that works over each chord, and then we're going to connect those ideas with the minor pentatonic scale. We're using the key of C for these examples today, but these ideas are movable and they will work in any key. So a 1-4-5 progression in the key of C would be C7, F9, and G9. So I'm going to show you a phrase that connects to each one of those chords. So basically we're using the minor pentatonic scale but targeting the major third of the C7 chord, which is an E note. We have an E note here, 9th fret of the G string, and also the 7th fret of the A string is also an E note. So the root note C is in the 10th fret of the D string. That's the first part, hitting that root note, then hitting 9 on the G, 8 on the B string, but chromatically just one fret sliding up. And then barring in the 10th fret of the G and B strings. Kind of a great exercise right there. Then 8 on the D string, 10, 8, 7 on the A string to the E note here, which is the major third of that C. All together. Just connects perfectly to the C7 chord. Let's move on to the F9 chord, but stay with me. I'll show you how this connects to create a great blues solo. Again, we're targeting the major third of the F9, which is an A note. Right there in the 10th fret of the B strings at A, and then back here on the 7th fret of the D strings, another A note. It's good to know all these intervals, but for me, I visualize this. I look down at the fretboard and see these little shapes around the pentatonic scale. They're not separate for me. I just see the minor pentatonic, but I see that major third, and then for the C I do the same thing. So if we go to the 10th fret of the A string, 8 on D, back to 10 on A, hitting that 7th fret of the D strings, that A note, and then hitting the root note in the 10th fret of the G strings, the F note, root. Again, the first part. Just that alone is a great way to get out of that pentatonic sound, but you can grab right back onto it. Fits perfectly. The second part, hitting the root note. You can actually hit it twice, I like to. So you're hitting the A note this time on the 10th fret of the B string, just sliding up a half fret. And then pedaling this note, which is a C note, which is in the F chord, on the 8th fret of the E string. Slow. And to finish it off, we can hit 8, 10 on the B, 8 on the G string, back to that C root note of the scale. You really want to know where that home bass note is and always be able to get back to that. All together. And then as we move up to the G9, chromatically walking up to 10 here, 8, 9, 10 on the A string. The next part. So the major third of a G9 is a B note. And there's one right there within that pentatonic scale in the 9th fret of the D string. And again, I like that little half step slide. I do that on all of these phrases. And then hitting 8 on the B string. Back to the 9th fret of the D. F note, 10th fret of the G string. And then finishing it off, hitting that G note here, 8th fret of the B string. Slow. But all together, see how all those phrases just run right into each other. And then if we use the C minor pentatonic scale, when I'm practicing and playing the pentatonic scale, I don't play the whole scale up and down. I'm just creating little phrases and pausing. So we can use the top notes of the scale, 11, 8, 11 to 8 on B. And that little slight bend on 11 on the E. A great exercise right there. Down, up, alternate picking is a great way to do that. I use that style all the time. And then you can just, the next set of 4 notes, (11, 8) again on B, but this time 10, 8 on the G string. And then getting back to that root note. These type of pentatonic phrases connect to those other phrases, the chord tone phrases, because we're really looking at the third and the root note of those chords. But this altogether creates an awesome sound. We hear our favorite players using the pentatonic scale all the time, but they're playing phrases within that scale. They're not always shredding up and down the scale. At my age, I can hardly even shred, so I just play some tasteful phrases when I can and kind of connect them to the chords. Work on this. This is going to help us play over the changes, the chord changes better. It's going to help with our blues phrasing, kind of pausing in between some of these ideas and really trying to say something when you play. And you can practice this concept by yourself just by hitting the chord, playing one of those phrases, hitting the chord again, and then going to the next chord. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I had a blast showing you some of these ideas today. Let me know if the lesson's helpful, and let's talk soon.